So our group did our project on the effects of video games on motor control. Video games are often viewed as recreation, but recent studies show that video games can benefit motor control and performance in both healthy populations and in the rehabilitation setting. Video games can be used to help improve hand-eye coordination, reaction time, balance and spatial awareness, adaptability, and require repetition of movements and practice. So this study looked at the effects of action video games on motor control in healthy populations. Action games such as Call of Duty. First, it looks at how action games can impact motor control and found that this type of game can improve hand-eye coordination, reaction time, velocity control, and fine motor skills. This study also looked at the amount of time spent playing action games and how it affected motor control. Those who played casually or heavily had better results than those who hardly ever played. Casual players and heavy players had similar results despite the difference in the amount of time spent playing these games. Both studies here looked at how active video games such as Xbox Connect or the Wii be used for rehab and therapy for motor control. The first study looks at the effects of video games on chronic stroke patients, specifically looking at their muscle strength, muscle tone, and activities of daily living. Participants of the study were split into an experimental group and a control group to compare the effectiveness of the intervention. The experimental group used the Xbox Connect in conventional training, while the control group just used conventional training to compare to the other group. The experimental group showed an increase in muscle strength, specifically in shoulder extensors and flexors, reduced their muscle tone, and had an increased activities of daily living. The second study looks at physical coordination for children who have been treated for a brain tumor and aims to investigate the effectiveness of active video gaming for enhancing body coordination. Participants used Wii Sports, Wii Fit, and dance games because of their active and engaging nature. Major takeaways from the study include a reduction of sedentary time, increased energy expenditure, and a 15% increase of body coordination. And this study looked at the effects of how virtual reality training could help improve balance for children living with cerebral palsy. The Berg Balance Scale and Pediatric Balance Scales were used to evaluate balance pre and post intervention. The experimental group included a combination of VR training and regular rehab training, while the control group intervention included daily physical activities and regular rehab training. A meta-analysis results showed that both the Berg balance scales and pediatric balance scores were greater in the experimental group, showing that VR training can be used to improve balance in children with CP. This study also showed that VR training can help improve walking ability and gross motor function. Overall, the research presented showed that it's possible that video game training has the potential to increase performance of motor control. Each type of video game training showed different benefits. Action video game improved movement times, velocity, and performance with an increasing index of difficulty. Xbox Connect and other active games improved strength and improved activities of daily living, and VR training improved balance and gross motor function in children with cerebral palsy. Future research for this topic could include VR training in different conditions, mouse versus remote gaming, and a combination of the different therapies.